Can't remember it. Yeah. Okay. So Frida can stream the video. Frida?
Hi. Let me start streaming.
All right. Thank you.
Initiative dedicated to empowering individuals through principles of sustainable One Health. This program recognizes the deep interconnectedness of animal, environmental, and human health, affirming that a holistic approach is key to well-being. Our program is designed to equip individuals with essential health knowledge, enabling them to become custodians of their own well-being. Through our hybrid Learn to Earn sessions, conducted both virtually via Google Meet and at physical locations, we engage participants from diverse backgrounds. These weekly sessions serve as dynamic platforms for learning, discussion, and collaboration. We focus on the co-creation of knowledge through the Learn One, Do One, Teach One approach. This method ensures that each participant not only learns valuable health information, but also applies it and teaches it to others, fostering a ripple effect of empowerment and education. By participating in the Actuate Health Access Program, individuals gain the tools and knowledge needed to improve their health and the health of their communities. Our goal is to create a network of informed and proactive health custodians who can address health challenges in a sustainable and impactful way. Join us in this journey towards better health for all. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome to the Actuate Health Access Faucet, a transformative initiative dedicated to empowering individuals through the principles of sustainable One Health. This program recognizes the deep interconnectedness of animal, environmental, and human health, affirming that a holistic approach is key to well-being. Our program is designed to equip individuals with essential health knowledge, enabling them to become custodians of their own well-being. Through our hybrid Learn to Earn sessions, conducted both virtually via Google Meet and at physical locations, we engage participants from diverse backgrounds. These weekly sessions serve as dynamic platforms for learning, discussion, and collaboration. We focus on the co-creation of knowledge through the Learn One, Do One, Teach One approach. This method ensures that each participant not only learns valuable health information, but also applies it and teaches it to others, fostering a ripple effect of empowerment and education. By participating in the Actuate Health Access Program, individuals gain the tools and knowledge needed to improve their health and the health of their communities. For all. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome to the Actuate Health Access Faucet, a transformative initiative dedicated to empowering individuals through the principles of sustainable One Health. This program recognizes the deep interconnectedness of animal, environmental, and human health, affirming that a holistic approach is key to well-being. Our program is designed to equip individuals with essential health knowledge, enabling them to become custodians of their own well-being. Through our hybrid Learn to Earn sessions, conducted both virtually via Google Meet and at physical locations, we engage participants from diverse backgrounds. These weekly sessions serve as dynamic platforms for learning, discussion, and collaboration. We focus on the co-creation of knowledge through the Learn One, Do One, Teach One approach. This method ensures that each participant not only learns valuable health information, but also applies it and teaches it to others, fostering a ripple effect of empowerment and education. By participating in the Actuate Health Access Program, individuals gain the tools and knowledge needed to improve their health and the health of their communities. Our goal is to create a network of informed and proactive health custodians who can address health challenges in a sustainable and impactful way. Join us in this journey towards better health for all. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome to the Actuate Health Access Faucet, a transformative initiative dedicated to empowering individuals through the principles of sustainable One Health. This program recognizes the deep interconnectedness of animal, environmental, and human health, affirming that a holistic approach is key to well-being. Our program is designed to equip individuals with essential health knowledge, enabling them to become custodians of their own well-being. Through our hybrid Learn to Earn sessions, conducted both virtually via Google Meet and at physical locations, we engage participants from diverse backgrounds.
All right, let's get started. Hello. Hello, let's get started. Hi, Frida. Is Gloria online?
Yeah, Gloria muted.
Sorry, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I hope it's a good evening for everyone. So today we are here again to discuss a critical topic. In our previous classes, we've discussed about application of innovative funding model, that is the quadratic funding in healthcare. So in our last session, we explored how quadratic funding can revolutionize prenatal care. And we all know that by improving maternal and neonatal health, we improve the overall, the broader health outcomes in the society. Yes, because the well-being of mothers and the newborns is directly linked to the broader health outcomes and societal prosperity. Unfortunately, many communities still face significant challenges in this area, ranging from, okay, let's say the most common barrier is financial obstacles. So today our topic is quadratic funding in labor and delivery. It's an aspect of maternal and child health. So before we start our discussion, allow me to take you through the meeting agenda. Today's topic is quadratic funding in labor and delivery. And we will start by topic presentation by our topic master, who is Liz Shomela. After Liz's presentation, we will have privilege to get additional notes and comments from our CEO, Dr. Macharia Walinge. Thereafter, we will have an interactive questions. During this session, you can share comments, insights about the topic, what you think are the challenges and what you think can be done. You can ask questions, feel free. You can use the raise hand feature, or you can just chat your question on the chat box. Thereafter, we will conclude the meeting. So I encourage active participation among members. Let it be an interactive session, please. So without further ado, allow me to welcome our topic master, Liz Shomela. Liz, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, how are you?
Good.
Okay, I'm going to start. If maybe I cut because of network or anything, you can please tell me. Okay, the quadratic funding is a funding mechanism designed to distribute resources more equitably among projects based on community support. and it emphasizes in matching funds according to the number of individual contribution rather than the total amount raised, thereby encouraging the widespread participation and democratizing the funding process. So the key concepts of quadratic funding is that there is individual contributions where each individual donation is valued more than the amount itself. This means a project with a large number of small donations may receive more matching fundings compared to a project with few large donations. I think you understand there. There's the matching funds where a central pool of funds is distributed between the square root of the sum of the squares of contributions, favoring the project with the broader support. There is also democratic allocation, where this method ensures that the projects which are important to a larger number of people receive more support, reflecting the community priorities. Okay, then there is an application in labor and delivery, where one, community health initiatives, for example, the perinatal care programs, where a rural community is aiming to improve access to prenatal care. Multiple projects are proposed, such as mobile health clinics, there is telehealth services, and educational workshop. Also, implementing this thing, each community member can contribute to the project they believe they will have the most impact. So with quadratic funding, even small contributions to popular projects can attract significant matching funds. And the outcome are projects like a mobile health clinic supported by many contributions receives a large portion of matching funds, enabling broader access to prenatal care services. Then there is maternal health research. For example, research on reducing maternal mortality. In such a scenario where several research initiatives are proposed to address maternal mortality rates, including the studies on hypertension, gestational diabetes, and postpartum depression. So implementing this, the researchers and advocates can come up with small donations from the public. Then the quadratic funding ensure that the research topics with widespread community interest receive more support. And then the outcome now, a research project on postpartum depression, which gainers widespread but small contribution receive substantial matching funds, driving significant advancement in understanding and the treatment. There's also infrastructure improvement. For example, upgrading delivery room facilities. When a hospital seeks to upgrade its delivery rooms to improve safety and comfort, proposals include advanced monitoring equipment, better neonatal care units, and more comfortable labor beds. You can implement this by the community members to contribute specific upgrades they find most crucial, so that the quadratic funding matches these contributions, favoring widely supported upgrades. Then the upgrades of neonatal care units, which receive the support from a large number of small donors, get a significant boost in funding, leading to better care of newborns. Okay, there is also educational program educating these people. Example, training for midwives and birth assistants. To improve birth outcomes, several training programs for midwives and birth assistants should be proposed in these cases. They include a workshop on emergency obstetric care, feeding, breastfeeding support, and cultural competency. So the contributions are solicited from the community to support this training program, and the quadratic funding ensures that most broadly supported programs receive the most matching funds. So the outcome will be a workshop on emergency obstetric care, popular among community members, receive significant funding, leading to better prepared midwives and improved birth outcomes. Okay, we'll talk about the benefits of quadratic funding in labor and delivery. First, it enhances the community engagements, and it encourages the community members to participate in funding decisions, ensure that the projects align with public priorities, There is also equitable resource distribution, equity. This is a very critical thing. So it ensures that the projects with broad support receive sufficient funding and addressing the needs of a larger population. There is also a promoting of smaller contributions. So it empowers individuals with limited financial means to have a significant impact on funding outcomes. There is also a transparency and accountability, where it provides a clear and democratic process for fund allocation, increasing the trust and how the resources are distributed. That's the end of my presentation, and thank you.
Thank you, Liz, for that educative presentation. Now, allow me to welcome Dr. Masharia to give further remarks about the topic. Dr. welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Gloria. And you can hear me? Just confirm you can hear me, Gloria.
Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. And Liz, wow, amazing. Liz Shamela, fascinating. You see, this quadratic funding, the more we dig deeper into it, the more we know that we need it so much, where we need it. Because quadratic funding allows community participation, and then because communities participating, then people with large amount of capital participate as well. See that? It's an ingenious mechanism for getting everybody. Even people with little resources, their resources are included in the quadratic funding mechanism. Such that today, the way we manage labor and delivery is pretty out there in the communities, let's say in the villages. A lot of people don't have access to the maternity services. And even when they have maternity services, the care is not very, very good. So we have a lot of babies being lost. Loss of life for young babies. And this is something that can stop. So just like we were saying last week, a woman should not die when she's bringing life to earth. And now the baby also should not die. See? And to prevent death of infants or newborns, which is known as infant mortality, to prevent that, first of all, we need to understand the mother herself, got the prenatal care. And of course, the mother, as we were talking about last week, if we don't know, the physical structure of the mother, whether she's having good nutrition, whether she'll be able to deliver that baby at full term, then we do not know even whether if she goes into labor, that baby will survive. A lot of baby die. So infant mortality is very, very high. When I was going to school, I come from Nyeri. When I was going to school, Nyeri was the district in the world that had the highest incidence of infant mortality. That there was more death of small babies in Nyeri, where I come from, than anywhere else in the world. So we were kind of leading the world in that sense. So in the World Health Organization saying, which place in this world do you find most babies dying? Say, oh, you go to Nyeri. Why was it happening? I don't know even now. But of course, access to care. But I believe that there could have been some other places that have got very high incidence of death of newborns, or death of mothers during labor, but we don't talk about them. Maybe they don't mention them because they didn't have community health workers to report. Yeah. So because there was nobody reporting, those newborns and the mothers could just die and nobody cares. As I've said here many times before, people in different communities in Africa have created a system for recovering the newborns who die or resurrecting them, because it's almost expected that newborns are going to die. So we have names like Karaoke, the resurrected one, the boy. A resurrected boy is called Karaoke. And a resurrected girl is called Joki or Gashoki, the returned one. Yeah. So that is built in the culture that we were expecting that mothers, when they go to deliver the babies, some of the babies have to die. And that infant mortality is very, very high. It can come to almost 10 out of every 100 babies being born, which is intensive. We see, those are not babies. They're not just babies. They are human beings. They're human beings who would grow up and become, big people grown up who contribute a lot to the society, become engineers, scientists, doctors, teachers, police officers, military men, even presidents, to replace our current president because he needs replacement. So that is infant mortality, very, very high. So if we had enough money that we can do prenatal care, then we would follow up. Okay. Elijah, we can hear your story over there. Yeah. So pregnant women, we need to follow them up. And in the beginning, to assess pregnancies that when they go into labor, they may lead to the death of either the mother or the infant. And we call those high-risk pregnancies. Now, who gets to know what pregnancy is high risk or is no risk? Must be people in the health system. That a lady, so the pregnant lady is receiving prenatal care, so we can know the high-risk pregnancy, we can detect them. So first of all, we do not have a system for detecting high-risk pregnancy because women who don't have access to healthcare, they will stay out until the time they give birth. The high-risk pregnancy would mean that they could be having a complication that when they go into labor, the labor is going to get impacted labor. Or because maybe the birth canal is not big enough, whatever, so many complications happen there. So all that happens because we don't have human resources. We don't have the people in the communities doing that prenatal care, and that's because of lack of money. It's not the people who are lacking, it's because we don't have money. Okay, that's why funding is very important. We have money. Money is the first step in health access. So that when all the high risk pregnancies, we can now have a safety net. Safety net is finding a way of finding them. We can detect them, and then because in our training schools in obstetrics and gynecology, they teach all those young students what to do to detect high risk pregnancies among women. But that knowledge does not go into the community. So what you're saying is that how do we bring that knowledge from the young students who are taught about how to detect high risk pregnancy to take it to the communities? So the step for taking that knowledge from the school, say the colleges and universities, into the community is missing. And the only thing that can take that knowledge from the colleges to the universities is what is called money. It's called funding. And because newborns, or it's a newborn baby, so even the labor and delivery is something that has to happen for every single family. There is no family that doesn't go through that event. Okay, so you could say it's something universal. So labor and delivery is a universal issue that's happening in every single family. And so every single family should participate in finding out how do we finance, how do we provide the financing for labor and delivery. Let us say finances are not equally distributed. Not everyone has got the same amount of money. Okay, there's some people with more money, some people with less money. But whether people have less money or more money, they have the same opportunity for making babies or bringing babies into life. See? So even people without a lot of money, even people without any money are going to have instances of going through labor and delivery. But the babies they're going to bring into life, the babies that are going to be born are worthwhile babies. So it's, of course, they become very, very important for the society. So quadratic funding is one mechanism that acknowledges the importance of the newborn baby and participation of every single family, such that every single family has got access to services to prevent death of infants at birth during labor. Now, what Liz has told us that quadratic funding allows people without a lot of money to participate in funding. And when many people participate in funding, then people with a lot of money can also now come and provide matching funds. But the matching funds is contributed, so you can see the matching fund will be contributed according to the number of people who are participating in the funding. Following the equation, that's the square root of the sum of the number of participants. The sum of the number of participants. Number of participants means that if you have 1 million people participating in quadratic funding, that's the sum of 1 million squared. Then you find the square root of that. And so the sum of the number of participants' contribution. So if you have 1 million people contributing on 100 shillings, so that's be 100 million, is it? Then the square root of that, then you can get equivalent amount of funding from a pool of donors. You see, the reason you want to have large number of people contributing is because something like labor and delivery is something that happens to everybody, every family. There's no family that doesn't have labor and delivery. And so you can see that money would become available for now funding infrastructure development, that is building better maternities with better equipment, biomedical equipment, better laboratories, and even providing education to midwives in the community, that you have a big army of midwives, that in every community there is enough midwives who are taking care of mothers, high-risk pregnancies in labor and delivery. And that means that it makes finances accessible. You see, so quadratic funding has got two steps. Step one is raising the money from the largest number of people. See that? Raising the money from number of participants. Small quantities of money, like 100 shillings, even 1,000 shillings, from the greatest number of people possible. And I have told you before, is that when you do this, we're going to be to begin doing this in the coming 8 weeks or so, that every a certain amount of money contributed, people shall receive Actuate tokens. So this quadratic funding on the blockchain. So the Actuate tokens themselves are going to be distributed to people who are contributing a certain amount of money. That creates a pool of money plus the pool of tokens. The token is a representation of contribution. So the next step, after people contribute and they receive tokens, then people have to decide the money that's been contributed, how is it going to be used? This is what Liz was telling us, that people now can choose the things that matter to them. If what matters in that particular community at any particular time is building a maternity, then the money funds, we can actually choose by voting using their tokens. Voting using their tokens to allocate money to building a maternity. Or we can say that, okay, maternity is already there. We want to improve the equipment in the maternity. You purchase new equipment or stuff like that. Then money can be allocated for purchasing the equipment by just voting. So it's a democratic voting system. It's not one or two people, or even a committee of 6 people, or even a small group of cabinet ministers deciding, but everyone who has contributed money gets to vote for where the money should be allocated. So again, quadratic funding has got two sources. One is a source of money, capital raising, and the other one is the allocation of money, capital allocation. See that? That's what I've been missing. Capital allocation, how is that money going to be allocated? And you see the money is raised from a lot of people over a large group of people. And then that same large group of people gets to decide how the money is going to be allocated. That's the power, and that's only possible in the blockchain. And the third thing is that as that money is being allocated, is also represented on the blockchain. It appears now on the liquidity pool and continues to build liquidity. So people, for the money they contributed, see, like 1,000 shillings, when that money goes into the market in terms of Actuate token, let's say in form of Actuate token, that money gets now traded in the market, and those Actuate tokens can raise in value. This is a very fascinating funding mechanism where the money you give, not only do you give it, but it comes back to you. You give money, it comes back to you. It comes back to you because it is in Actuate now, but that Actuate is the market. And if we have large group of people, so we have to do large scale mobilization of people. Mobilization, like a whole county. So like you go to Nyeri County, or even say Kilifi County, or maybe Webuye County, is there such or Bungoma County? So you have the entire county getting involved in this, and then everybody has got the tokens, just like everyone is on WhatsApp today. So you can see a situation where even everyone is on WhatsApp, then similarly everyone is on the quadratic funding platform because it's on Actuate token. See, let's say everyone is on Actuate. That means that it has to be through and through nationwide distribution in order for it to make sense. So that's quite some work we want to do. That's full-blown marketing, helping people understand. But see, such things like that, marketing is, you could say, organic or intrinsic, because nobody saw an advertisement for WhatsApp. Have you ever seen an advertisement for WhatsApp on television? And how is it that everyone is on WhatsApp? Mhm. So such things happen when people understand that they need them. So see, we all get on WhatsApp because if I don't have WhatsApp, then I will not be communicating with others. I'll be out. I'll be out of the game. Similarly, when this quadratic funding catch fire, everybody is going to be on Actuate, just like everyone is on WhatsApp today. So in another say 5 years, everyone is going to be on Actuate. Why? Because if you're not on Actuate, you're outside the communication platform. And the communication we are talking about is not just communicating, like talking to one another, is communication of value. Because what Actuate does is to help you to communicate value. In the beginning, it doesn't seem like making sense until you get the network growing, or the number of participants growing and growing and growing. And that's when the quadratic funding makes a lot of sense when the network is big. Imagine if we have as many users of Actuate as we have users of WhatsApp, which is going to happen. Now, you see, in 15 years, we are going to have through and through complete penetration, just like the way WhatsApp is. So long as people have access to the internet, they can have WhatsApp. And so long as people have got access to the internet, they will have Actuate. And that's what we are talking about. So quadratic funding, now you can see it relies upon, for its success, it relies upon the number of people participating in the network. Okay. It relies upon the number of people participating in the network. So as we are talking here, it calls upon every one of us to, let's say, preach the gospel, to tell people, as many people as possible out there, such that everyone understands, everyone in the community gets to understand this thing. That's why we are talking about these things, unpacking it stage by stage, so that you all know the significance of this matter. And when we all understand it, then you can see that when everybody is on board on the platform, then quadratic funding becomes very, very easy. And in terms of communicating this message, that's even why we have built this summit at the end of the year, so that we can now highlight, we bring it to the light, bring it to the highlight the significance of getting onto the actual platform as much. And if everyone gets onto the platform, say just like everyone is on WhatsApp or everyone is on Facebook, then communication, let's say quadratic funding, makes a lot of sense. And see everyone participation, then building or raising money or getting money available for building and improving maternity services, having money for educating midwives becomes a walk in the park, cakewalk. And see, I was just saying the third quarter of this year, you're going to see a lot of that happening. And that's very, very good. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And Glory, thank you so much for great leadership. Keep on going, and let's keep digging and digging until everyone understands. And so, Liz, great work. Thank you again, and back to you, Glory.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Daktari, for that. Thank you for shedding more light about the topic. Thank you for thank you for explaining further, giving real examples and how we gonna implement this project. Now I will welcome questions or comments. Yeah, if you want to add something about the topic, maybe you're welcome. I will read the comments. Lillian Minor. Yes, Lillian Minor says, the presentation was well prepared and effectively communicated the importance and potential of quadratic funding in labor delivery.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that positive back.
Yeah, I think we can have comments because I think what we can do is because we have a few more minutes, people can tell us about the experiences. Like I was saying that when I was in Nyeri had the highest incidence of death of newborns in the world. We were actually published by the World Health Organization. Yeah, that at that point, when they were reading that to us, I felt like jumping under the desk, saying, "No, I don't know Nyeri. Nobody dies over there." But then, of course, when you're going through all that, you also find we had in Pumwani Hospital in Nairobi. Pumwani was the largest maternal labor and delivery center in the sub-Saharan Africa. The biggest. It handled most labor, and then of course, nearly half of the children who came to be born in Pumwani died at some point during the Nyayo regime because Pumwani was out of resources. Who has been to Pumwani recently? Is there any changes? What's going on in Pumwani now? Has Pumwani improved? There was so much agony in that place. It was tough. Yeah. So many mothers, they couldn't make it the next morning. And of course, there was a huge traffic of mothers trying to get, because they used to come from everywhere in the country. But I think now maybe perhaps it's better. And then we have Linda Mama program that was scrapped off by the current regime. And so people don't have coverage. These are the problems, particularly when you have important programs to cover pregnancy and labor and delivery getting removed by the government. And that now makes it much even more urgent to work on this quadratic funding. But as I said, in order to make it work very well, we have to invite as many people as we can. So everyone, invite as many people as possible into the Actuate Nation. Because once we get there and we have, say, right now we have just hundreds of people, but we want thousands or millions of people holding Actuate. And then when you start doing quadratic funding, it becomes very, very, very meaningful because it's going to help us move, move a major stumbling block in terms of infant mortality, infant death. Yeah. So question, what is your experience with labor and delivery? I think with observations, not your own experience, because maybe you have never experienced having giving birth, going to maternity, but you have made observations in your community. Who wants to tell us the experiences in labor and delivery in their community? What goes on there? Yeah, so Lynn and Maina, what would you say? If it was your experience, what have you observed? It's not an experience, but observations only.
Hi, Lillian. If you can hear me, maybe you can give your experience in labor and delivery. Maybe you have experienced someone's, not necessarily yours. If you can hear me, maybe you can see.
Yes, it's an observations. Yeah, because I believe there's a great number of observations, and it's from this observation that we're going to make decisions about how to allocate. First of all, to gather the funding so that we can get the sum of participants in contributing, and so we can also square, so we can find the square root to do the finance allocation. Anyone? Contribution. Okay. I don't know if there's no one we need to share observation, then we can do something called. You can go to the next step, Glory. I think we need to have perhaps the updates of the summit.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Lillian says maybe she's unable to speak. In the chat box, she says labor complications due to lack of money.
Yeah, money is a big issue. The labor complications. Yeah, so many of those. Wow. when labor gets complicated, you see, there's a lot of situations of labor that's some mothers give birth before they get. When they start getting labor pains, they start walking to the hospital, the nearest health center. They end up giving birth to the baby on the roadside, on the wayside, which is hard. Do those babies survive? I don't know. Those who survive eventually, according to the Kikuyu tradition, are called Wajira because they were born on the roadside. Or even some others are called, for the females, the young girls are called Wajira, the young girl babies. And then if the boy is a boy, it is known as Jiraine. Or even some boys in Nyeri, they were called Gashira. So they were born by the roadside. So you can know. And see, that is that's the thing. But you see, there's very high risk if a baby is getting born on the roadside. It's not even at home, or maybe safer. On the roadside, there's no safety there. It means that the baby was born on the roadside because they were trying to go to the clinic, but they didn't have transport. The mother had to walk there. And then she gave in a way. It's very hard. Very sad stories. And so even when they get to the service, the clinic, even small complications, as we heard, this is like high blood pressure. High blood pressure of pregnancy is supremely lethal that if not taken care of, it kills both the mother and the baby at the same time. High blood pressure, because it gets so bad that the mother starts going into seizures. See, that can be prevented way long if there was prenatal care. And then we have diabetes. Mothers with high blood sugar, sometimes they may not even know that they've got high blood sugar because maybe they're just living in the community with their blood sugar, but there's no one to check because there's no prenatal care. So high blood sugar, because of the sugar, the baby becomes too big. So the baby is bigger than can fit in the birth canal, and so gets impacted labor because the mother had high blood sugar. And because of that, mothers with high blood sugar get large babies that if there's no help, they cannot deliver that baby unless. So in the hospital system, they will find out in the maternity, in the labor ward, they will find out and do what's necessary, maybe even a cesarean section to get the baby out. So if the mother has got high blood sugar, she doesn't know, and the baby grows bigger than size, and then there's no one to do the necessary, then that labor becomes impacted, and impacted labor is not good neither for the mother, or even the baby. So both mother and baby dies just because of that. But those are manageable conditions, like preventable death occurs. And we have other situations like infections, which can be prevented. There are lots of infections that mother could be having an infection, but if it's taken care of during birth, the baby does not get infections. But if people don't know, they don't even know there's an infection, so the baby comes up also infected. Yeah, and then there's another big problem of mood disorders, serious mood disorders like postnatal depression that occurs in women. It's called maternal blues. That maternal blues occurs in maybe even up to 45% of women I don't know what causes that, but it's very common that sometimes mild just passes over a period of several weeks. And this is why we need a lot of education. And of course, if the mother doesn't have access to postnatal care, then she's not able to take care of the baby well, and things can go very, very wrong in that. So all this it speaks about the need for having well-funded system. Unfortunately, when a woman is pregnant, she's not able to work a lot. So pregnant women are not earning the highest revenue. See, this is a contradiction. That when women need the money the most is when they are making the least money or making no money. So they rely on other people to help them make money. Yeah, you see that when women need money the most to take care of themselves and their body, that's the time when they are actually not able to make any money because they are making life. But because of our arrogant nature, all of us human beings, we take that glorious work for granted, and we don't understand that the women, she's pregnant, and instead of taking care of her, finding financial resources so she can be safe and sound, we neglect that thing. Because I can tell you, pregnancy is not an abnormal situation, but because the woman is doing another major job that's bringing another new life on earth. So we're not expecting her to be going to work every day or even to be going to the farm and doing all that work, even particularly during labor. That means that there's time off work, time off of the busy work, so she can take the work of life itself. And that work of life, as we have discussed before, people are not compensated. The woman is not compensated for the work of life. So what we are saying is a quadratic funding recognizes that labor, in fact, it's called labor, the labor of life, the labor of love, or the labor of God. That labor that the woman is doing, she's not paid to do it. It's not like she's going to do a job by an employer somewhere who is going to give her a salary. So what's that labor? Is it unpaid labor? No, on the blockchain, it's not unpaid labor. That labor has got value. And that value becomes possible with quadratic funding. So now this one, we can transmutate the labor of bringing life on earth to the labor that is rewarded, not only with just having a beautiful baby, but also having money in the pocket by quadratic funding. Yeah. So that the word labor now eventually, the labor and delivery now has economic meaning. It's not labor and delivery for nothing. You can say, okay, you're doing labor and delivery for the work of God. Okay, let's say, bringing life into this earth. But it's this labor and delivery that has economic value. Economic value. You can only put that economic value if we rally everybody we know to go through the system, to get on the platform. Let's us get on the platform so that we can do quadratic funding so that labor and delivery has economic value. Okay, so that it's represented, the value of that labor and delivery becomes represented in the market using Actuate tokens. Well, that's what I would like to reemphasize and emphasize as much as possible. But yeah, we can talk about the summit 8 days or whatever else, Gloria, you want to talk about.
Okay, I will read another comment from Lillian. Okay, first of all, Damian says fascinating presentation. I like it. Lillian Minor, yes, she's asking, what of the mothers whose geographical location is barrier to access to maternal care? How can they be helped?
Today I believe that the geographical boundary has been flattened by the information system. And how they can be helped, first of all, is to find out whether they have access to the internet, let's say even access to the cellular network, say like Safaricom or Airtel. So geographical barriers are only there geographical barriers because they are far in the mountains, wherever they are, but they have access to a cell phone. Access to a cell phone. And because their mothers, they are in remote locations, but they don't live alone. They live in a community. So nobody is far from anybody today. So that's one thing that we want to admit in our consciousness. Nobody is far from anyone else today. See, for example, the people in this meeting today, they are everywhere geographically, all over the world. Maybe someone in Kenya, I'm in the United States, and there are people elsewhere. But we are able to be together at the same time. Okay? So that way, with the information system, has called information communication system, has brought us together in a way that we could never have managed to do before. So what we want to do, even this quadratic funding system, we raise money to make sure that such mothers have access to the communication system. That's why when you're talking about this summit in Nairobi, we want to engage companies like Safaricom and some companies like Airtel and other cellular technology companies, cell phone companies, let's say, to come to the summit so they can understand the important work they are doing to break down the geographical barriers. Without internet, without cellular communication, we would be talking about people in remote locations. But with information system and these technologies, those geographical barriers disappear. So one is that if we have mothers in remote locations and they have cell phones, so I think it's now the duty of everybody, that's what I'm saying, in Actuate Nation, to reach out to such mothers and bring them on board. And what we have not explored yet, and we must explore before the end of this year, is how people with USSD phone, that's the feature phone, also known as Mulika Mwizi, the tiny feature phone, or Kadude, Kababe. The Kababe phone can get actual tokens, okay? Or even how people on Kababe can appear in a Zoom meeting like this one. Because it is possible. When you create a Zoom meeting, the Zoom has got a dial-in number for those people who don't have a smartphone. But so that people on Kababe, they can dial in. And it's, we want to keep on spreading the word that way, that if we don't get stuck with a small group of people and say that's enough, we have to reach out to those people. So reaching out begins with every one of us in Actuate Nation. There's nobody who is remote today. There are no geographical barriers in the cyberspace. Let's say in cyber geography, cyberspace is flat. So the cyber geography is flat. There's no barriers anywhere. It's a flat land so that you can see one another. And that is what we want to, we just want to bring that into our consciousness. Become conscious of the fact that there's nobody else who is any distance from anybody else. We are all in the same spot, the same space. See, like we were talking about Twitter spaces, all these guys, Kenyans, the Gen Z is going there to yell at Mr. Ruto. That's what I'm talking about. We are in the same space. Now, this becomes much more important because this is the same, much greater than say Twitter spaces, which is the, oh, other devices are shouting. All right, so much more important than Twitter spaces, which is just for talking. You know, there's nothing wrong with verbal communication, communicating with one another. That's very important. But here we're talking about communicating value. So we want to bring even those people in the remote locations in the Actuate space, the space called Actuate, what's called the blockchain space. That is called Web3, which is now beginning to make entry points into the remote locations. And USSD phones. Now, I see Cello Foundation itself has been working very hard, and Cello is in Nairobi, Kenya. You know, Cello Foundation has created a wallet that it works like M-Pesa wallet that is accessible on what? On USSD platform, on Mwizi, on Kababe, on that tiny phone. So that's called a feature phone. So Cello Network has got a wallet, a blockchain wallet, where you can send Actuate token into a Cello wallet to a Kabambe phone. So even people in such remote locations, geographic locations, they don't have any geographic locations, so long as they know that. See, if they can send M-Pesa, if they can send M-Pesa, they can participate in quadratic funding. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. And that's an important question because we want to actually get in Cello Foundation into this conversation soon enough, and we get them also in Nairobi. They understand it to come and talk to people about that. Because if we are talking about getting millions of people on the blockchain, Cello has got the technology just like M-Pesa, but this is M-Pesa for what? For cryptocurrency or for blockchain currency like Actuate tokens. Okay. All right. So, any other question, comment, philosophical thoughts?
Thank you, Dr. Ali, for answering the question in those comments. So if you have any other question, you can keep on chatting. Meanwhile, I will welcome Augustine to talk about the summit. Augustine, if you can hear me, welcome.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for making time to join us this evening at this Actuate Learn to Earn session. So my name is Augustine once again, and I would love to take this opportunity to just remind you about our upcoming summit, the Actuate Nairobi, the Actuate Pre-Boston Nairobi Summit. So we are organizing a summit. I think we all know that, and it will take place at KU main campus this coming December, December this year, from 3rd to 6th. And so the theme of the summit is using AI, that is artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and decentralized finance to improve health development and human development. And we are looking forward to have various stakeholders from all. So it is a multidisciplinary summit because healthcare people, human development is everywhere. That's why I'm saying it's multidisciplinary. To come, and have a conversation on how we can leverage these technologies, these emerging technologies, to create a condition which is very equitable for all, ensuring that we have high quality healthcare in Africa and even in general, the whole world, accessible and affordable. So we are expecting a lot of diverse stakeholders from businesses, government entities, telecommunication communities and companies, the Web3, artificial intelligence, and blockchain, and also healthcare sector, both research institutions and organizations, NGOs, both local and international. So this is a very global summit, and we are all invited. Those who are here, the Actuate biomedicine members, you can come as an attendee. And when you visit our website, that is actuate.bio, you go to the widget of the summit, the Nairobi summit, you will be able to see the attendee registration link and all explanation. So you can come as an attendee to learn, hear from all these experts, or how we can leverage what is the status quo and how we can make a difference using these technologies. Also, we're expecting speakers, and I think for now, I think the speakers slot is so much becoming exhausted with over close to 70 speakers. You can check by visiting our website again. And also we are expecting, these organizations or even individuals who want to showcase their products or services to come as exhibitors. Also now the final category is we are inviting sponsors. There's no summit that takes place without sponsors. We are targeting those people who want to leave legacy behind during this summit, to join us, partner with us, and be our sponsors. And we're inviting, and I think we all know this, but let me just say, this process of inviting sponsors, we are onboarding every member of Actuate, that you invite sponsor to buy a certain package, you receive 5% commission of what you sold. And there are several packages for that case, starting from the diamond sponsorship package, which is going at $10,000. Platinum package, which is going at $7,500. Gold package, which is going at $5,000. Silver package, which is going at $3,000. And bronze package, which is going at $1,000. And don't forget also that those who want to exhibit, the booth is going at $1,000 also. So what I would love just to say is that this exercise of inviting sponsors, or let me just say the entire summit process, is all about us. We are really walking this journey with every single Actuate member. We want this to, we really uphold the principles of co-creation at Actuate Biomedicine. Empowerment, inclusion. So I just want to again remind you that let's belong and let's participate. And because as you see the theme, it's really a very hot topic, which is so much trendy and hot cake. And that means we are really ahead of the curve, and this is an opportunity for you. And let me just share my experience since, the entire this month, June, July, June and May, when we are trying to invite speakers. There's a lot of exposure and connections. I just want you to know that. Because the moment you understand about the theme of the summit, every detail, and be able to speak to someone, maybe walking in and explain to the maybe CEO of Britam or even Safaricom, those guys, there's just that respect that arose, and they be like, oh, there's not that view of a smaller guy, Gen Z. There's something that there's a U-turn of event and a certain respect and more opportunity. So I want you to see this one that way. Two things. You are becoming part of the summit, and the other thing is you are really, I feel like it's a channel to the, to the industry. That's how you get to know people. So let's move. Reach out to me, reach out to Miss Glory. Ask questions to our team members. What do you want for you to do something? And, what do you want to understand? So that we can move together. And what I know you can, you're saying, how can I come? What can I do apart from being an attendee? When you go to our website, you will see a lot of explanation about poster presentation. And that is now, that's your thing, that's your slot. Coming to present poster, research. If you have a research topic, research findings, you prepare a poster and come and, just stand beside it, explain within some set of time. And then there are some benefits, including winning a ticket to Boston next year for the Premier Summit, which is taking place next year, July at Boston. So let's interact with our website, learn more. And also when you interact with healthcare professionals, tell them that apart from plenary session coming to speak in our podium, they can also conduct, a workshop, maybe, a discussion, and maybe clarify a lot of issues. Maybe cancer workshop, so that we know what goes on. Even, workshops, just some practical exercises, and people get to understand what they usually do and ask questions. So let's also remember that when we interact with our medical doctors. And I think this month we have impact. I think the 2 months we have decided to go strategically, have a plan. So I think by now we're done with speakers, and I think this July we are getting into sponsors fully. We are targeting pharmaceutical industries, also technology, industry, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and even telemedicine or telecommunication, organizations. So that is the business for this July, and I think this July sponsors. Yes, so that is what I can say, and yeah, let's belong and let's participate. You can't belong and you're not participating. But I think Summit is offering that chance of participation. And thank you so much for dialing again to this session, very interactive session, very amazing. And yes. So back to you, Glory.
Thank you, Augustine, for highlighting more about the summit. So guys, as you've heard, you have Augustine has emphasized on how to participate. I will encourage everyone to strive for this. All these questions we are asking, how can we help those that have challenges with financial access to healthcare, the geographical barriers. It is in this summit that we will unfold the solutions. I mean, we are the solution to the problems that face us. So let's try to participate. You can, in the website you will find all what Augustine has talked about, and also let's invite sponsors. And in case you have any question on how to go about it, you can always come to my inbox. Let's leave no one behind. Let's move together. Also, Augustine, you can share the link to our website about the summit in this chat kindly. So I don't know, maybe let's keep the conversation. Let's engage in our social media platforms on our WhatsApp. In case maybe you have any question, in case you have any insight, always feel free to engage. Thank you all for participating, and thank you to our topic master, Liz Shomela. We've really learned. So anyone maybe with a question or a concern, we are nearing to the end of our meeting.
I can just add one thing to Augustine's presentation about the summit and encourage everybody to participate. What Augustine has explained as his experience, it's called growth. What is growth? You already have finished your growing. It's not physical growth. So we are not. If you're Gen Z now, you're a fully mature person. Your physical growth, you don't expect your bones to grow any longer because you've finished, you've reached the stage where you're of the stage of maturity. But there's another growth that occurs every day, even when you're 90 years old. That's the growth of your consciousness or your spirit, or let's say your consciousness expands or grows. And what Augustine describes the growth of expansion, the growth of the consciousness or the growth of the spirit. Augustine has said that by just working over the last 2 months, it is a transformation that in you, that the one in you yourself, you just see ordinary person in town. Then when now you start communicating with other people at the level of responsibility for your profession, career, like you're inviting them, and you find they are replying to you with respect. They recognize your role, the role that you're playing. That brings some sort of a new awareness about yourself. You become aware of another you who's inside. You feel respected, that you can actually you can draw respect from, say, a professor of medicine, or even a professor of surgery, or even a CEO of a company like Safaricom. He can actually listen to you. That is a certain growth that happens, which is phenomenal. Now, you have the opportunity to do that, to get people like that in a conversation. Usually, in real life, say in ordinary everyday life, you don't have, like topics to discuss with such a person, like this, like the CEO of Safaricom. What would you be talking to him about? Unless you're talking about small talk, or about what? About soccer, about those teams in London, European soccer teams. But when you're talking about something meaningful that has something significant to his own professional career, and he's paying attention, he say, wow, I can get the attention of such a person. And see, that helps you to grow, expand. In a way, you reach another level of consciousness, which is like a state. You reach another level of state, become another level of awareness, that you're not just the ordinary person you think you are. Mm-hmm. You have that person inside yourself, which is very, very powerful, that can stop the CEO of Safaricom to listen to you, that can stop the managing director of Google to stop and listen to you, that can stop the professor of medicine and listen to you, that will stop the professor of surgery and listen to you, that will stop the marketing, the medical director at a pharmaceutical company and listen to you. That person is inside you. And I can tell you that person who is inside you is far greater than the one you have in the world. That's what it is written. The one in you is far greater than the one who is in the world. Okay, so there are two of you. The one you see yourself, you live with every day, who you see, you look at the mirror, you see that one. That one is not the one who will go and talk to the CEO of a large company, say like, or even say the director of Nairobi Hospital or a place like that. So this is an opportunity. As you have heard, this is an opportunity for growth, because to get to let me say, to jumpstart that who is in you, who is far greater than the one who is in the world, to shake him to awareness, to get him to wake up, or to get her to wake up, that one who is in you is far greater. You need something, a substance, process, something. So this summit is not something that helps you to go and activate. And actually the true word is actuate. To actuate the one who is in you, who is far greater than the one in the world. So, and of course, you need language to actuate that one in you. And when you're comfortable with that language for the summit is on the website. Everything is written on the website. And there's several things now that help you to create a comprehensive narrative. It's called a narrative. Narrative. Narrative is the word. What word would you be talking to the CEO of a company, or maybe a professor of medicine? Which word? The narrative is on the website. Number one is the value that that kind of person is like to get from the summit. What value? That value comes from the people who are invited, the speakers. You can see what Augustine has said, that is that the speakers list is full. So far, we have close to 70 speakers. These are very high profile people, people of influence, people of importance, who you would like to be in their presence. Such people are called people of great presence. So Augustine and the team have worked very, very hard over the last 2 months to assemble, people of great presence. That even yourself, when you're in their presence, you know that you're in the presence of greatness, great people. They're not great because they are big in body or size. They are great because of their works. They are people who are highly accomplished. They have done a great job. And of course, that list is not complete. There are still more that we are going to be updating at the end of the day. So go to the actuate.bio, www.actuate.bio, Nairobi Summit, then you look for speakers. Look at that list yourself, and you will be awed. You'll be amazed. Like, I am amazed. I look at it, I'm saying, oh my goodness, is this real? Is this for real? And yes, it is for real. It's amazing. So go there and first of all, get amazed. Just get amazed for 1 minute. Once you get that amazed, then you have the narrative. When you're going to speak to, say, someone at Airtel. See, Airtel is just said, Airtel telecommunication company. Without Airtel, what you're talking about, quadratic funding, would not be possible. So you tell Airtel people, or the CEO of Airtel, whoever works there, big decision maker at Airtel, this is why you must come. You need to come here so that you can know the work you're doing. You're doing a great job and making health accessible to everybody. You have broken down the geographical barriers. Airtel. People of Airtel know that. They know they are breaking down the geographical barriers, but they don't have people coming to tell them that. So you want to tell them that. And they tell them, now you can come and now explain to people who really matter and they understand that. By coming to the summit and tell them, when you come to the summit, you'd like to come as a sponsor. See, that's how you do it. So companies like Airtel, we want them to come there. Companies like, say, Safaricom, again, we keep talking about Safaricom. We want them on board. Companies like Cisco, because you know that Cisco sells those switches for routing or routers, and companies database companies like Oracle and all the other companies that are involved in telecommunication, companies that lay down the cables for the internet, company, and I think there's company like Zuku, all those. These are very, you know them because you would not be here online if you're not subscribing to any one of those companies. So you actually know people who would be sponsors, and now you have a narrative to tell. And then, of course, besides that, there are other companies that are important in our lives, the companies that deal with food and agriculture. Mm-hmm. Talking even about company like Toyota that manufactures food, they manufacture agricultural mechanical devices. You know, let's say farming technologies. Yeah, some of them make some tiny tractors. I am actually moved by Toyota. They make a tiny tractor that can cost what? Maybe let's say 500,000 shillings. Like a border size of a tractor made by Toyota. But people don't know. People buy borders, but they cannot buy that Toyota tractor. We want Toyota to come and talk to us about stuff like that. Because that's if people have such technology, instead of people can buy border, but they can also buy what? A small Toyota tractors to ease the manual labor of farming, all that subsistence cropping and farming. And you see, you can access Toyota to talk to them about that, because without farming, there is no food, and without food, then of course our mothers will not be strong enough to deliver to carry the babies to term. So that's why Toyota gets connected to labor and delivery. See, that's a narrative that if you are going to say car in general, even Toyota, you're able to deliver such a statement that Toyota, you are very, very important because of all the technologies you create, but people don't know about it. Come and show that technology to the people at the summit and tell the people that we're here at this summit because of the job we do in making food available to the people, making food possible by creating all these technologies. Toyota not only does it make such certain tractors that are affordable by a lot of people, but they also make expensive cars for rich people, including Prados and more expensive ones. So you can see that you have the power. And one other something I want to add to that is what Augustine said, that we believe in the principle of co-creation. Co-creating is the most effective way of communicating a vision. That we can just say that we don't want all these people in Actuate Nation to participate in looking for sponsorship, because why do they have to do it when we can do it? And we can do it, and we shall do it. But what's the point of us doing it alone when there's everybody else is there and they participate? So participatory active learning. So everybody in Actuate Nations learn, and when they learn, they also earn. Participatory active learning for earning. That's why it's a learn to earn. And that learning to earn program is built on spirit of co-creating. It's a matter of communicating vision. The least way of communicating vision is telling, like what Mr. Ruto is doing. He goes to television, announces. That is bogus. Only 5%, maybe less than 1% is going to get buy-in. But if we co-create, we create our solutions together. We co-create. So that there's nobody is standing out there preaching to the others, but we are creating together, because there's no point for a few people getting wealthy when other people are poor. That co-creating means that we create our wealth together. That's why we have given you the opportunity to create your own wealth by using the summit to create your wealth and to create your own internal growth, and to activate that one who is to activate that one who is in you, who is far greater than the one who is in the world. Okay, that one is in you. To activate the greater one in yourself. This is the opportunity. That's the opportunity for growth. Okay. I will stop talking. This is a very exciting topic for me. As you can tell, I can talk for hours upon hours, but I hope that you are very, very encouraged and you participate so that we can come to the summit. Now, if you haven't booked spot for you to speak, now you can do poster because speakers list is almost completely full. Yeah. Then, but if you cannot speak, then or even make a poster, then you can bring sponsors. And if you bring sponsors, of course, things are going to be very, very good for you because ECS, as Augustine said, Boston is next year. So we have to do quite a bit of work to lay the ground for Boston. So you can show up in Boston next year in a 3-piece suit. No, it's gonna be in the summer. Come with a swimsuit. Or it's gonna be the summertime. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Back to you, Glory.
Thank you, Dr. for your powerful comments. People have really learned, and I think everyone now is aware of what is happening, and I believe they will start working on it. So thank you, Liz Shomela, our topic master. Thank you everyone for joining. We encourage you to keep joining our sessions to learn more and for us to share more ideas together. So the Google form, attendance form has been shared on the chat box. I will give you a few minutes. So the attendance form is filled for the purpose of distribution of Actuate tokens. We reward your participation with Actuate tokens. So make sure you fill and so that the end of the month you receive the Actuate token. Unless anyone has any other concern. When you are done filling the form, you are free to leave. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Liz Shamela. Have a good one.